Okay guys, I'm here to explain the soul system in Rift, which is essentially the class system. Um, when you first create your character, there are four callings to choose from. You can either be a mage, a rogue, a warrior, or a cleric. And within each of those callings is 8 regular souls and then a PvP soul, which I won't go over because it's pretty much boring and stupid. But anyways, so this is my cleric. He's level 14, and I just bought a new role, which is essentially a like a spec. If for those of you who played WoW or any other game, that there's like different specs. It's just a different talent tree build essentially, and I guess I'll start explaining the soul system by bringing up the menu. Okay, so this is my new soul tree role, and this little side menu kind of explains this pretty well. There are 8 souls, like I said, for each thing, and you purchase them for a set amount of money, which is 20 gold, like down here, which is equivalent to like silver in World of Warcraft, and it's really easy to come by. So you can get like all 8 souls by probably like level 11, I'd say. I'm 14 and I've had them for a while. But when you go through the tutorial, you'll do quests that give you your first 3 souls. But then when you purchase new roles, you can like change them around and all that good stuff. But anyways, so I'm just going to click on some things, and first off, I guess something I should mention is that this gives you a brief rundown, if you hover over each soul, of what they do. At the top it says the name, like Druid, Purifier, Inquisitor, etc. And right beneath that it says Offensive Soul, or Healing Soul, or Defensive Soul, depending on what it is. And since I'm a cleric, I'm the class that heals, so there's more healing souls than there are in other classes. The mage has 1 healing soul, but it's not that great. That's what I use on my mage when I'm doing dungeons, but that's because I'm support. So I guess I'll just like click on one, and then it pops up in there. And as long as if you haven't spent any points in it, you can freely change it to whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna click on Inquisitor because I haven't really looked at it yet. But like the tutorial said in here, there are branches, which is what you put your points into, and I'm just clicking because you can undo it until you hit save. So, and as you see, when I click, things pop up down here, and how that happens is there's little red numbers on each new skill or passive. Some passives are down here, but there's not that many. But for each skill there's a red number on it, and once you put that many amount of talent points into the corresponding tree, it unlocks that skill for you to use. So say I have 18 points. Another thing I should mention is that you can only use how many points in each soul. Like, I'm level 14, so I can only use 14 points in each soul, if that makes any sense. I can't use all 18 in one soul and just have that one soul, because I don't know why, but that wouldn't be good for some reason. So yeah, and then a couple more things is you can make some pretty unique builds like this. Like I'm gonna switch to my tanking spec because I wanna show something. This is my tanking spec, which kind of it might seem unusual. I don't really know if it'll work yet. I haven't used it, but I'm hoping it'll work well because of the way I have it set up. So this is the tank soul thing, and it's pretty much a melee class. There's not that many spells really there. Usually like instant cast melee strikes, but this is like there's two buffs for this class. One of them makes you heal more, which doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know that much about clerics, so I won't really go into that. But this increases threat generation, but right now I don't have any spells that I'm aware of that hit multiple targets. So I went into this casting class called Kabbalist, which their spells pretty much hit multiple people or do large amounts of damage to multiple people. So the first spell, don't have to spend any points whatsoever in the talent tree, hits up to 3 enemies. So that, along with this buff, which gives 500% threat generation, should allow me to keep my threat on multiple targets fairly well without having to switch targets too often. So that's really helpful. Like you can customize your class however you want. It doesn't matter. Like I can change this if I decide, oh, I want to heal myself. I can switch to this heal over time class where I don't have to rely so much on someone who is the healer. Like say the healer dies or whatever, this might be a decent way to offset that at lower levels at least, because once you get higher levels, trying to like dual roll probably wouldn't work very well. Like say I'm trying to tank but heal myself at the same time, it probably wouldn't work very well because I can't output enough damage while healing to keep threat or whatever, I believe. Now maybe because it increases threat generation by everything by 500%, so maybe if I spam heals on myself I can still tank, but that seems like a stupid idea, but someone might do that, so that's their thing. I should mention that there's I believe 68 points total, and the max level is 50, so there are 18 points that you get like while leveling at random level. They're not random levels, they're set levels, but I don't think it follows a certain pattern. You get 2 points that level. So if you have one tree, you can't just put all your points on one tree, because you'll have some extra points left over, which allows you to put points into a second tree like I have here or something like that, or put into a third tree if you so wish. But that's pretty much it for the soul system, at least, and I suppose I will also go over planar attunement, which is the end game customization for characters, and my mage is level 50, so I'll go ahead and show you guys this. Sorry for the login screen and all this. I'll probably cut it out. But anyways. Okay, so this is my mage. She's level 50. And it's 66 points. My apologies. Which, is a lot. That's 16 points more than 50, so those other points have to come from somewhere. And this is my new soul. I don't know how well it'll work, but I'm trying to make it a support soul where I can heal the whole group with Chloromancer, buff myself and my group with Archon, and then control with Dominator, which there's some spells in here that like this one that helps me get my mana back, and same with over here. There's this spell which gives me some mana back. What I forgot to mention is that there are skills in the upper part of the tree, the branches. There are skills up here, but obviously you don't have to get them, and there's nothing in the bottom that will relate to them. But pretty much the talent system essentially works the same way it does on every game with a talent system. Like, you put points into this, and then there's a little arrow here. So you can't put points into this unless you put points into this, etc. But that's besides the point. Now, I will show you the planar attunement section, which I'm max level, and you may be wondering why I have an experience bar. That is because even as you reach the max level, you still level up. But the level ups go into your planar attunement window, which this is that. And essentially how it works is you get X amount of points each level. I think it's 100 per level. I'm not really sure. I've only gained a couple levels. But and then there's different planes. The 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, life, and death. And as you can see, I've put more points into death than anything. I also put 1 point to water for the lure, which has to do with rifts, and something I won't really talk about in this video, at least. I might talk about it. There's a good chance I'll talk about it, just to entice you all to play this game even further. But at the start of each plane in the attunement window, you're forced to put your first point into this, which you use that at a tear, and it opens a rift of that element. Which I'll probably upload a video of me in this starting zone opening some rifts or whatever, just to show you guys how it is. But then after you do that, it unlocks like these 3, and then it's pretty much just like connect the dot or whatever, or connect the dots. Like, I can't put points here or whatever without first putting points here. Pretty much the same deal as every talent system. But the way this works is, like, I put 1 point into this, so that unlocks these 2. And then if I were to put a point in this, it would unlock these 2, etc. And these are mainly the blue ones are stats. The red ones increase your stats while using specific weapon types, which is really useful when you're wanting to specialize in a specific weapon. Like, me as a mage, I can use spell swords, spell daggers, or staves. Now, there's nothing in here about using staves, so I probably won't, and I don't use swords or daggers, so I probably won't get points into any of these, or either of these 2. But as a mage, your your ranged weapon is a wand. That's your only choice. So if I put points into this, I get free spell power just for having my wand equipped, which gives me stat bonuses and all that good stuff. And then the purple things in each tree do different things. The first one that's right next to the lore is a planar charge, which planar charges are used in rifts, and they fuel ascended powers, this says, which are pretty much just things to make yourself stronger while in a rift or doing a rift, because most of the monsters are elite and they might kick your ass. So some of them make them do less damage, or summons allies to your aid and all that stupid shit, but that doesn't matter. And then I guess the other purple ones do specific things depending on what element you're in. So this one increases movement speed while soul walking by 5%. And soul walking is pretty much when you die, you release your soul and then you soul walk to your corpse in order to revive. So this will make you move faster than other people, which isn't very cool, but I guess it doesn't really matter. And then this is only the first cone of each element, and they only have 2 of each cone released currently, but as this says, the 3rd tier will be unlocked later when they create it, I guess. So the 2nd tier, I can view it through the chains and see what the things do, so I guess I'll just go ahead and explain some stuff in here too. So as you see, there's more of that grave walk shit. So for a total of 5, 10, 15% movement speed while soul walking. I guess that's okay, but I wouldn't put points into that. I forgot to mention that these yellowish orange ones increase your damage done to creatures from that element of rift. So if I put all 9 points into this Bane of Death, I do an extra 9% damage to Death Rift creatures, which I guess is good if you do a lot of Death Rifts, but I pretty much just do whatever, really. And then these green ones, that increases death resistance. These green ones, I guess, reduce your damage or assist you in taking less damage from those type of creatures, which, as a mage, that might be helpful. I might put points into that. And then, as before, the red ones are still for weapons, and the blue ones are for stats. But then down here in this corner, there's a new type of thing, which there's one for each element so far. And it's essentially an enchantment for your weapon, or whatever it says it's usable on. Like this says it's usable on one-handed or two-handed, so I'd assume that means staff, sword, or dagger, or any other sort of one-handed or two-handed weapon. So, this one says it gives damaging abilities a 20% chance to return 10% of the damage done in healing for 2 hours. So, if I threw this on my healing or support build, whenever I'm dealing damage, I would also be healing myself, which in PvP that might actually be really helpful, and also in tough spots in dungeons, like if I accidentally play aggro or something, I'll be able to survive, which is actually really cool. Now, I haven't looked at the other enchantments, but I'll go ahead and look at them. This one gives spell critical strikes a 50% chance to deal an extra 249 physical damage. So that would only really be for casting classes. I guess that's what this life tree is for, but it would deal physical damage, which is a little unique. I'm not exactly sure how well it would work, but that might be useful for something that is like a blended class, like something that uses spells and physical attacks, possibly, like a cleric, perhaps. Here's the water tree. I believe there's just the one. Okay. This increases maximum mana, which yeah, I don't have to explain that. That's not very great, though. I personally would not use that. The earth one is not that. There it is. Increases spell power by 120. This is fire. My apologies. 120 spell power actually is quite a bit, because I only have 438 on my purple level 50 staff. So that 120 extra spell power would actually be extremely nice for a casting class. I may have to delve into the fire plane because of that. Here's air, and this is the enchantment, increase intelligence by 30, which intelligence, is a pretty basic stat. It increases spell power, critical rating, and max mana. So that one's better for if you want an overall better experience while playing your class. The spell power is pretty much just if you're a power nut, just go for that. This is more well-rounded. And then, okay, so this would be really good for a tank, because they're going to be getting attacked a lot, and a 30% chance. It'll pretty much happen every 30 seconds as soon as the 30 seconds is up, as long as they're in combat. I believe that is it as far as these go. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you decide to possibly start. If you do, the shard or server the servers are called shards. But the shard I'm on is called Keenblade for now. I might transfer my mage. They have free transfers, so I'm not too certain on whether or not I'm transferring or not. So we'll see. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll probably upload some more videos soon. Alright, see you guys.